Hi, this is just a update on the Bazzuka bass ukuleles. As I said before, first effort I took a standard shop bought ukulele and converted it into an electric bass ukulele, modified the tuning heads, the bridge and the nut. This one's got through stringing and an active preamp. You may remember from the other what it sounds like. This is just through straight amp. Took quite a bit of work because of the through stringing and the stresses of the metal strings. It needs a sound post. It's fitted it now. Stays in tune quite well, that one. But this one is using the Bazzuka rubber strings. It's got bass guitar type tuning heads which manage to squeeze the rubber strings through just a bit of a squeeze. Some modifications, it's got a instead of the standard plasticky nut, it's got an ebony nut that I've profiled out, string spacers to keep the tension down on the nut, and I'm quite proud of this bit. I'll show you this bit that I've been building today. It's got a custom built bridge with a piezo underneath as well. Basically a piece of timber that I got from a timber merchant, and some work with a Dremel, quite a lot of work with a Dremel to shape it out. Dremel is a multi-tool with all sorts of pieces, and underneath the bridge it's got an ebony bridge with an active pickup underneath. And that's it, and I'll show you what this one sounds like. This one is frighteningly loud, the output of it, so I have to keep everything turned down quite a while. The thing about the Bazzuka rubber strings, the same as on the Ashbury and the Carla, the thing about them is that they do take some bedding in and stretching in. And getting used to. But quite happy with the sound. That was just straight plain amp. Now let's just come close enough so you hear it without any amp. And again, bridge, active pickup preamp, bass heads, string spacers. I did have to, with the bass tuning heads, the fattest string one, I did have to just open up the groove just slightly on that, and the next one down. And that's it. Bazzuka number 2, this one I'm calling it, Bazzuka number 2. Just to let you know, another little project I've just tried. I've been read up about double basses and things, and this little one is just acoustic at the moment. It's a standard one, bit of work machining out the nut to fit and reaming out the fattest 2 tuning head posts to take the fattest strings. Not very convinced about this. This is what they call using weedwhacker strings instead of normal strings. It's got fatter weedwhacker strings. Now there are brands of weedwhacker strings specifically for double basses and upright basses, but this is just a prototype, just for fun. And in the UK, what the Americans call a weedwhacker, we call a strimmer. And these are strimmer lines that I was able to get from just a gardening supplier. They're cheap strings. They're inconsistent. I have found that I bought them on different gauges, different thicknesses, and I was expecting the fattest string to make the deepest sound. The thing is that the fattest string is much, much, much stiffer, and because of that, the tension on it is completely different. So the fattest string, but the next string down is much, much deeper. And if I loosen the tension off down it, all it does is rattle, but it's still very, very stiff of its own accord. So it's all, I've got re-entrant tuning on it, but with a fatter string. Kind of strange. Anyway, that's it with the weedwhacker strings, but my favourite so far has been this little one with the Pahaho strings, but the most work by a long way. Although the first one with the metal strings and that did take a lot of work, but I'd never done one before. Anyway, let me know what you think, please. Cheers!